Welcome to Art Talk with April, Season 2 Outtakes. Let's get started.
Yeah.
And it's been like over 2 years now. I still have a hard time to spend some time in the day to do nothing.
Mm.
To me, it's pretty much impossible. I constantly have to do something constantly. So I'm hoping eventually I'll be able to relax, but right now it's still a learning experience for me.
I think I might be the same way. So in that sense of like always having to like be doing some kind of creative thing, you know. So that's really cool. I really love that you're like that. And I feel like we've got to slow down and take a moment to breathe sometime, whenever that is.
I'm trying.
What kind of advice would you give like a younger artist who is starting out and they're, just finding their way? What kind of advice would you share with them?
Well, I'd say whatever that artist is after, and that's like deep inside what they know what they really want to do, I say do it now. Do it now. Don't waste your time. Don't try to, try to go around it by doing something else. Just like go for it. If you fail, then you'll have learned something about it. At least you'll have tried. But if you really, really, really want something and work really hard at it, I think you can get it. Sometimes, you may need more experience, so you have fallen a few times, but it's okay,
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think a lot of people sometimes look at failing as maybe the end of everything, but you can still get back up and try again.
Yeah, I really think that you learn from your mistakes, and at least you're going for what your heart tells you to do,
Yeah.
And so many people just follow a path that, they have to because that's what, makes sense. But there's ways to do other things. If you really want to make it work, you can do both, you have to at least do some of it. I think you just have to do it. And I think that, you can do both, but you can do it through your art too. You can, do some artwork, like illustrations. For example, in my case, I do a lot of illustrations for commissions because, that's and I still enjoy doing it very much, because I'm like, I get to draw for a living, This is amazing. It may not be like what I would have decided things on the side, and whenever I'm done with a custom order, then the painting comes back out and I can continue, So you constantly have to have the balance there between what you have, like your complete creativity and then the creativity that you use to pay your bills, because yes, everybody is, born with a silver spoon in their mouth,
Yeah, that is so true.
Many people that do and that can get to do that, so.
Yeah.
And in a way, even if I did, it wouldn't be challenging, I'm like, well, it's more challenging to try to make a living at the same time. And, that pushes me to discover new things. Sometimes people throw something my way and I'm like, oh, I don't think I've ever drawn that, or, oh, how could I create something like that? And it makes you think. And I like to take the challenge. I like to take challenges very.
Yeah, I haven't ever looked at it that way, but I think I can be that way too, as far as like trying to figure out a way to make it happen, and make time and work, even though I'm, maybe not feeling like it or that kind of thing, and just figuring it out. And because if I had
sometimes it takes some new techniques.
Yeah, I think maybe pushes you to be more creative.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always be stuck in the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like if I had all the time in the world to do whatever I wanted to do, then I don't know. I don't know if it would be the same. I don't know if it would be as interesting or if I would come up with as interesting of solutions, or, you know what I mean? Like, it would be kind of boring.
It might be less motivation too, you know?
Yeah. You would be like, okay, I don't feel like drawing today or whatever. I mean, because you just don't have to. I mean, I don't even know what that would feel like. That's fun. That's an interesting way to. Who would you say is your favorite artist, or a favorite artist, or someone you're inspired by?
It's hard to pick one. I really like some architects. You know, like Hundertwasser he's like he's an Austrian architect that just like took, like he started by being a painter, and then all of a sudden he built a building, designed a building, and from there he just like took over Vienna, and there's like you know, there's like all these like big classic architecture in Vienna, and then all of a sudden there's his work, and you can't miss. It's like there's not a single straight line. He hated straight line. He was a very big. He was an eccentric, you know. I mean, like, he's like very interesting person. I like eccentric personalities.
Yeah,
but you know, like he dressed crazy if he dressed at all. I mean, but his work is just like out of this world, and the fact that he like got away with like creating all that when people, you know, are just like can be so narrow-minded as far as architecture. Like another architect I really admire is Gaudi. It's like, and it's a more curves and colors and using tiles everywhere. And you know, like when I climbed up the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona and saw his work, like I could touch his work, it was like a life-changing experience for me. It was so amazing.
Wow.
But so, you know, like that's kind of like the architects I like. As far as painter, I really like the work of Mark Ryden. You know, of course, he was kind of like the starter of the low-growth art movement. Maybe not the start, the early ones, like the pop surrealists, you know. You see the good and evil in things. His style is just so good, you know.
Yeah.
It's like when an artist has vision and creativity mixed with like a good with good technique and also talent, that's what makes a fantastic art. But otherwise, there's an artist like a more local artist. She's from Mississippi. You know, like gets a bunch of like discard objects and turns them into art, and it's very colorful. And you know, I just always loved her work, and it's like out there because she'll like take a mannequin and like add 4 legs on it and light on her head, and you know, add like maybe antlers on it, and then put everything together, paints the whole thing. Or you know, the Last Supper with like all of Elvis faces in it, you know, and it's done, you know, fairly well, you know, like it puts some time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's used a lot of dots and a lot of colors. So you know, I've collected her work when, you know, I had the gallery, and you know, I love every piece that she's done. Though,
that's awesome.
She doesn't do art shows anymore, unfortunately, because
she's
gotten a little older. You know, she may be 80.
Oh my goodness!
Sorry, that's my neighbor's dog. Can you hear that? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's my short list.
Yeah, I mean, I think that really speaks to your work too. You know, there's that's a lot of different kind of techniques and materials and everything, you know, and I think that makes sense. You'll have to send me the links or where I can find those artists, because that sounds really interesting.
I'll send you the names. You can Google it.
Yeah. That's all. I love like discovering people that I hadn't ever, you know, either haven't heard of or, you know, haven't seen their work or didn't realize that that's who it was. Or thank you so much for talking to me. And
that was easy.
yeah. And where can we find your artwork at? Where's the best way to get your art?
If you want to look at what I have for sale right now, it's on my website, Véro the Traveling Artist.
Okay.
If you want to look at, whatever I'm working on at the moment, or follow me on my travels, you just look at me on Instagram or Facebook. That's Vero the Traveling Artist also. Mm-hmm. And then, in town, I have, my art in a few little places, like About My Goods, which is in Homewood and Huntsville. And then I have my work at Kentucky Art Center in Tuscaloosa, which is Northport, really. And then a Filter Coffee shop has some of my small things there. So they're on 5 Points. And then every once in a while, about, every quarter, I will have a pop-up on my porch, which is like something that started with the pandemic. It's been doing great and it's very easy to do. So I have like this little, invitation private group for, my customers, but, you can always like message me and ask me to add you on there. Yeah. And then you'll be invited to the next.
Oh, that is so fun. I love that you do that, because I feel like that's one of those creative ways to.
Well, as I say, you always have to be creative.
Yeah. I mean, you figured out a way to get around the pandemic. And that is amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was so wonderful, because people were so thankful. They were like, oh, please let me know next time you have one of these. It saved my life. I mean, especially when people could not shop anywhere. Yeah. And like being able to go somewhere with no contact, I would wave at them from the studio, but I would not go outside, And so they just paid me with Venmo and,
Oh, that's so genius, Vero.
So well,
I love that you did that.
Even my neighbors would come and, Well, I'm lucky to be well located.
Yeah.
Centrally located. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Art Talk with April. For more information on this episode, join the Facebook group, The Art Lounge. Please subscribe and share. See you next Tuesday. Hope you have a great week.